Hi, Jason Alad here, and in this video, we're going to take a look at what you can do to make an Excel CSV file be imported into Google Contacts so that you can make a distribution list more quickly. So in a previous video, I showed how to make a CSV file of parent emails from Skyward. And here is what will come out in Excel once you go about doing that. And unfortunately, you have a lot of information here that we just don't need. So it's going to take a little bit of time to get rid of some of the stuff. First of all, everything in cell A1 all the way to G5, we don't need any of it. It's cute that it's there, I guess, but it can all go. So what we can do is just drag and highlight all of it. And then you actually hit delete on the keyboard. Hitting backspace will only delete the information in one cell. So actually make sure that you hit the delete key, which in most cases is on the top right corner of your keyboard. So I'm going to hit delete now and it's all going to go away. Sweet. The next bit of information that you don't need here is all of column A. Column A actually shows the kids. We don't need the kids because we're right now importing parent information into Google Contacts to create a distribution list. So we don't need any of this kid information. So if I hover over column A, you'll notice that my cursor turns to a little downward pointing arrow. If I click column A, it highlights the whole thing. And then once again, I can just hit delete on the keyboard and all of that is gone. We don't need it. Sweet. Out of there. Okay, so now we can actually start doing the work of creating this so it's ready to import into Google Contacts. Google Contacts has to have the information displayed the same way in Excel as it does when it's uploaded into the program. And what it has is a column or a field for the first name. So notice how I'm typing first name into cell A1. When I type first name into cell A1, I hit enter and then it's there. In cell B1, I'm going to type last name and then hit enter. And then finally, we're going to put the email addresses in column C eventually. But for right now, we actually have to move them. So I already have in cell C7 a heading for email. That one actually came from Skyward, which is nice. But we have to move it out of the way. And just as a side note, all of these names and emails are make-believe. So I'm going to highlight that. And then see how my cursor changes to me it looks like a tire iron, but the arrow's pointing in all four directions. That means I can click and drag and move it. And I'm just going to move it to column E for now, just so that it's out of the way. Now I'm coming back over to here. Now this is what I'm actually interested in because these are my parents' make-believe names. Where it says guardian name, I do not need that information, so I can click in that cell and delete it. Goodbye. Now here's some kind of technical stuff. I am going to highlight all of these parent names. Then I click on the Data tab in Excel, and I come over here and click the button that says Text to Columns. I want to make sure Delimited is the option that's selected, and I click Next. Now here I click comma and deselect tab. So again, I clicked comma, checked or unchecked tab. Now I click finish and hey, look at that. Now my last names and first names are separated. Unfortunately, I've got my last names are already lined up in the last name column, but my first names are in the wrong column. So I need to just select that, get the little arrows pointed in all four directions and drag that up starting at cell 2. Now I'm going to make sure that my last names line up, and I'm going to drag these up. It's probably worth checking just to make sure that the last names are lined up with the correct people. So in other words, make sure that you have a parent called Jeremy Allen and didn't accidentally line up, Allen when it should be down here by Randy or whatever. So just probably a good double check. Now I'm going to move the email addresses using the same method, highlight them, wait till I've got the arrows in all four directions, and then just drag them up to column C. Again, this is probably worth checking here just to make sure that you've got the right information in the right columns. Obviously, when you're making a distribution list, it won't matter that much because they're just going out to all those people anyway, but just to make sure, accuracy is kind of important. Now that we've moved the names and separated them by first name, last name, and have the email in a separate column, we need to save this document someplace where you can find it pretty easily and make sure that it's saved as a CSV file. So I'm going to go into File, and I'm going to click Save As. For just making things super easy like this, since all we're doing is uploading it into Contacts, I'm just going to save this one on the desktop. Make sure that the file type you're saving it as is CSV, delimited. Make sure that you have that, because otherwise any other file type you won't be able to upload it into Contacts. Again, I have it on the desktop and I click Save. Go ahead and say yes. So now I am actually ready to import this into Google Contacts, but I'm going to save that for another video because this is already getting kind of long. So this is just how to set the Excel document up. Once you have that, the columns first name, last name, email, you've separated those first and last names, and you have the email addresses here, and you make sure that they're in columns A, B, and C, you'll be ready to import into Google Contacts. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.